on, man. You know I don't have any blues.
It's just the game.
+4.
This is sexism.
Anyway. So how long do you guys think it's gonna be until Watson dies?
Well, I bet he'll make it to 100. Only if he follows my advice and takes 18,000 milligrams of vitamin C each day.
That was creepy.
Right. Well, I think it's gonna be any day now. I bet it'll be from cancer.
+2.
You're probably right. Especially since everyone here seems so prone to that. Unlike myself.
Well, we know it won't be ovarian.
Una!
Dr. Watson! Dr. Watson! Oh no! Dr. Watson? Dr. Watson!
Skip you, Crick.
Rosie, you were right.
Yeah, in her dreams.
No, really.
Where am I?
We're not really sure.
You weren't ever really sure much, Wilkins.
This woman.
Well, Watson, since you're here, must be hell.
What? Why would I be in hell?
Seriously? You don't remember how you retired?
I'm Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. Up next, CNN Tonight.
So, Dr. Watson, how do you feel about that?
Ugh. I am inherently gloomy about the prospect of Africa because all of our social policies are based on the fact that their intelligence is the same as ours, whereas all the testing says, not really.
Wow.
What were you thinking, Watson?
Do you remember now?
No, I don't. Who are you people?
Watson, I'm Francis Crick. You know, your friend that you've never seen in a modest mood. You and I, we discovered the DNA double helix model together in 1953 at Cambridge. You don't remember? Oh, well, our first model, it was completely wrong, especially because we overestimated the water content. But our second model, it was really accurate and perfect. You don't remember?
Oh, I'm Maurice Wilkins. You know, the one that showed you photograph 51 that helped you find the double helix? And I interested you in X-ray diffraction. Anyway, I've been working on it for a while after studying biophysics, but to my surprise, proved to be rather difficult. Not because of the technique, but there were some social issues and a particular female. Her name started with an R. Oh yeah, it rhymed with nosy.
Clever, Wilkins. I'm surprised you could come up with that joke on your own. It was my photograph that you took and flaunted around without my permission. I was hired to work on X-ray diffraction of DNA with my assistant. No one ever mentioned that I'd be working with or under your supervision.
Yeah, no thanks to JT Randall. I didn't even know you'd been hired to work with us in London. Anyway, I was the deputy director of the Medical Research Council Biophysics Research Unit at King's College in 1955. It was a much better job than what I did with the Manhattan Project. The tragedy what happened to those people in Japan.
You know, Maurice, if you took some vitamin C.
It's not going to change anything, Pauline. The
Some
people,
vitamin C!
No, the people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they shouldn't have deserved that.
any benefits.
Enough from you, Pauling. He only asked who we all are. I'm Rosalind Franklin. I worked at the King's College Biophysics Laboratory with Wilkins and my assistant, Raymond Gosling. We didn't really get along due to some personality conflicts and what seems to be a simple misunderstanding, if you didn't notice. But you don't remember? We talked before I left King's College for Birkbeck College. You don't remember all that work we did on TMV and other plant viruses?
Doesn't she sound interesting?
Ugh. You must remember me, Watson. I'm Linus Carl Pauling, known for my discovery of the alpha helix, my work on sickle cell anemia, my interest in quantum mechanics. Shortly before you, I published a paper with Robert Corey about the structure of nucleic acids. Oh, we thought that DNA was a triple helix. Oh, but when I saw the model in Cambridge a couple of months later, I knew that it was right. So simple and yet so beautiful. But I heard that if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have had the motivation to finish deducing the structure of DNA. Especially you, Crick, since it took so many years to get your PhD.
I was too busy inspiring others and changing the world.
You changed the world? I got 11,000 people to sign a petition to end nuclear bomb testing and won 2 Nobel Prizes.
Clearly you don't remember my work on the genetic code or protein synthesis. Let me refresh your memory. My good friend Sidney Brenner and I conducted an experiment that confirmed that the genetic code was a continuous triplet code. And you surely must know about the central dogma. I coined that term.
How modest of him.
Anyway, you're just jealous because we won the race to DNA. Watson, are you sure you don't remember?
Ugh.
Watson, we have to hurry up and discover this model. Pauling is so close. It's okay, we can do this.
I think the DNA is a double helix. No, a triple helix. What about the interactions with water? We have a specific pairing. This DNA thing.
No, I still don't remember. Well, let's have a friendly competition then. Linus, Watson and I challenge you to a tennis match. It can be like another competition, and we'll beat you again.
Besides, Watson loves tennis. Maybe this will jog his memory.
Okay, just let me take my daily dose of vitamin C first.
What are you doing, Craig? Let's go! Sorry. Pauling!
Let's go, Watson!
In your face, Pauling! Yeah!
Blue.
Do you think you have the authority to change it to blue Wilkins?
Some things never change.
Like you. What a match.
So how was it?
History repeated itself.
Well, do you remember anything now?
No, not really. I don't remember any of you people, and none of this DNA nonsense. Wait, actually, yes, I do remember. I remember that I loved to play tennis.
What about the Nobel Prize we won in 1962 for physiology or medicine?
These are the recipients for the Nobel Prize of Physiology or Medicine this year, 1962. Maurice Wilkins, Francis Crick, and James Watson, for their discoveries concerning the molecular structure of nucleic acids and its significance for information transfer in living material.
No, I don't remember.
Maybe this picture of you and Crick will help you remember.
Oh, I remember now. I'm James Dewey Watson.
There you go.
I graduated from the University of Chicago when I was only 18 with my bachelor's in zoology. I had an obsessive passion for bird watching. In 1948, I began experimenting at Luria's lab in Indiana University, and I received my PhD in zoology in 1950. And then I remember I met you, Wilkins, as I was working with bacterial viruses in 1951, and saw for the first time ever your X-ray diffraction patterns of crystalline DNA. This made me change the direction of my research towards the structural chemistry of nucleic acids and proteins. Then later, in about October 1951, I met you at Cambridge, Crick, and we began our work on determining the structural pattern of beautiful DNA. And in March of 1953, our hard work finally paid off. Thanks to your X-ray diffraction image, Rosie, and your hard work at King's College. And poor Pauling just wasn't quick enough with his work. Anyways, after that, you and I, Crick, we worked together and published many papers on virus construction. I was also interested in the roles of RNA in protein synthesis. I received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1962 with you, Crick, and with you, Wilkins. I was the president of the Cold Spring Harbor Lab from 1968 to 2007. A long time. I also made considerable contributions towards the Human Genome Project while I was the president. But then, in October of 2007, I had to resign.
Well, it definitely seems like you remembered everything.
I feel like someone's watching me.
Watching.
I feel dizzy.
Are you okay, Watson?
Watson.
Watson.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Watson. Please come back.
Ugh!
Hello. After making this film, the rest of the cast and I felt it necessary to clarify some topics within the film in order to ensure accuracy. First, Francis Crick had no problems with Linus Pauling. In fact, he thought Linus Pauling was a great scientist. Also, the race to DNA went a little differently than depicted, considering Linus Pauling was in a different country than Watson and Crick. Last, earlier in the film, I incorrectly stated that Watson and Crick overestimated instead of underestimated the water content in their first model of DNA.
Although I depicted Maurice Wilkins to be aggressive with Rosie, he was not so in real life. He tended to be shocked at her attacking remarks and generally tried to avoid any disputes. As with his involvement with the Manhattan Project, the code name for a group of scientists working to develop the atomic bomb, he considered this to be one of his greatest regrets, particularly with the 2 atomic bombs that were dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan during World War II.
Linus Pauling is the only person ever to receive 2 unshared Nobel Prizes. It is doubtful that he ever considered the discovery of the DNA structure as a race, as Watson depicted in his book, The Double Helix. Even if his advocacy of megadoses of vitamin C was controversial at the time and still is among scientists, his 2 books dedicated to the subject were bestsellers and well received by the public.
Rosalind Franklin wasn't quite as snappy and argumentative as she was portrayed, but she did get in quite a few arguments with only Wilkins, just because she liked to argue. At the time, she did not care that, or she did not seem to care that Watson and Crick had discovered the structure of the DNA helix, but she died in 1958 before Watson, Wilkins, and Crick received the Nobel Prize. She also never knew that her assistant had given photograph 51 to Wilkins, who then showed it to Watson and Crick. She also wouldn't have worn a shirt this ugly.
Dr. Hoffman was not the cause of James Watson's death. Watson is currently alive and is 85 years old. And now it's time for Blue Fuzz!
I was like, yo, she never knows.
I already pressed start.
Doing! I wasn't ready.
Just go, I'll cut it out.
Okay. Shut up!
Sorry. Pauling. He asked who we all were. I'm Rosalind Franklin. I worked at Birkbeck.
You know, if you took some vitamin C. I think you'll make. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. What's the line?
Back to you, Crick.
Blue, come on.
Of vitamin C each day.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Uno!
We'll have all the medals!
Nope. You have to wait a second, girl. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. You suck. Pauling.
I will have all the medals! All of the medals!